Good morning, all. Sorry for being a little late today. We were trying to figure out a car thing. So we've got the car thing figured out. I will turn the lounge music on. Lounge. Behold us lounging. Wop, wop, wop. Wop, wop, wop. All right. Good morning, Brent. Last night we broke my script. And now we're going to work on breaking it down further. So, one thing we're doing here is before this, we have prologue. Right? And then this also has med lab with translator. Because that's the scene that we were talking about there. Epilogue. All right. There we go. Wub, wub, wub. Wub, wub, wub. Right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take this section that's all over here on this side. And we're going to say, copy, and paste it, and move it over. Okay. Now, this gives us the ability to kind of break this down a little bit more and give us a little bit stronger version of what's happening. So let's see what's happening in here. Arg. Arg. All right. Let's talk about the first act. In this instance, I'm going to switch to red. Take my pen, and I'm actually going to bring it down from 30, which is pretty big, to 12, which is smaller, so we can break this down even smaller. At this point in time, I kind of want to see where we are with everything. Right? So, knowing that this is our box for Act 1, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 units. Units? Actually, probably helps to take this guy here. You know, I'm noticing that, Brett, whenever we're in this mode, we don't have your printer running. You don't have your printer running either, so it doesn't really matter, but there still should be, like, it should still be up there. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm super saying. Right. Okay. this better than this. You could do this better. You do a better job. Oh no, you blew out your motherboard? Is Ender 2 printing still? I don't even know if we're on Ender 1 or Ender 2 over there. I don't know who we're on. That connection issue is Colton.
Connection issue?
Yeah, I just started doing one of your connection issues is not working, or one of your connection is not working just at the same time as you joined. So like, that connection issue is Colton. Who knew?
It might be me. It might be me.
Who knew? Little did you know you were a connection issue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. It doesn't need to be that. It's 9. Well, yeah, except I got the first 2. So we broke my script last night. That was cool.
Your script?
Yeah, before the next comic. So now,
oh, you set it up?
Yeah. You know how you break scripts. Yeah, that's a term used in movie making. Breaking scripts. Not to be confused with Breaking Bad.
I was thinking when you said broke script, like you broke your, like typing up a script for something and it's broke and not coming back.
Right, as opposed to breaking it like it'll never ever come back ever again. We broke it as in we took I have an idea. The idea is A, and then broke it into small little pieces, and each scene is in there, and what goals for all the characters and all that stuff. Breaking the script. So yeah, that's where we are. There's that, which is cool. So and now breaking it even further because we had it all in little pieces, but it's all in apparently Seattle Seahawks colors. Exactly, but okay. Other than I like the QuaCk colors. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. Mom used to call them the QuaCks because she didn't like them. And I thought that was funny. So, of course, my favorite team was the QuaCks because it annoyed Mom. But no other reason. Just it annoyed Mom. Like, I know nothing about what that team does. I did like their colors. I thought their colors were pretty cool. Green, big color colors. It's funny what links you go to annoy your mom when you're a kid.
That's fair. That's true.
I said Seattle Seahawks was my team, but really, that's really just unfair.
I was talking to my friend, and she's like, because Seattle has a hockey team now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the Kraken. Seattle Kraken.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Which the name just made me happy, and I kind of like their logo and everything, too. My friend's like, really? You're going for them? I'm like, yeah, I want to see what they do. They look cool. I like the idea. Kraken's a cool character, like a pretty awesome monster. And she just rolled her eyes at me, and I was like, "Yep."
I mean, really, honestly, when you ask geeks these things, you're going to get random answers that may or may not be pertinent. You never know.
And maybe good answers.
Right? Who knows what the hell may happen? The thing is that with geeks, you can't be sure whether they're just saying it to be in or whether they're legitimately sports fans. Because some of us
Right.
are legitimately sports fans. There's a few of us who are like hardcore. Every game.
I know a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, but then there's me, who my mom was a major sports fan, so I speak fluent football, because I'm an ADD. I absorb everything, right? So, like, the referee goes out on the field and does this, and I'm like, oh, it's a holding call against the defense, and they're like, how do you know this? You don't know anything about sports. You don't care. I'm like, I absorbed the whole damn thing when I was a child.
You're over here, you're like, you're right, I don't care, but this is the stuff that stuck with me.
Right. I got nothing better to do, man. I got nothing better to do. All right. I think that's funny. Always cracks me up. Especially whenever I do the, oh, yeah, blah, 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 about something sports, and everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about, man? I don't know.
You know this?
Right? How do you know this? I don't know.
So how was your weekend?
It was pretty good, actually.
Oh, good. Since you had to work Saturday.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Not bad. I had like the weirdest combination of kids, though. Like, they were all dealing with homecoming. And so, like, I had some kids leaving early and some kids not being in the second half of the class. You know what I mean? Like, they were all over the place. But I mean,
yeah, I guess school has just started, so homecoming is a thing. It was like,
yeah, I mean, it was legitimate reasons, but it was still kind of like, huh? Like,
right.
Yeah, it was like, okay. So it was fine. I don't mind. I like actually teaching. I like teaching a lot, and so it's never, other than the typical ADD, you've disrupted my entire universe, you've screwed up my plans problem, which is not. I mean, if I was a neurotypical human being, it wouldn't be. It would actually be a positive thing. So the only thing that's negative at all is that my ADD makes me go, oh no, the schedule, it's all screwed up. We're all going to cry now. You know, like,
the schedule.
But the schedule, you messed up my world. You know, but the more I realize that that's what I do, the easier it is for me to handle that now.
Yeah.
You know, now that I know that ADDers just have a problem with changing schedules, it's fine. It's not a big deal. A lot of times, all I really need to do is just put it in my phone so that it's there, and the pressure is less. It hurts less. You know, like it. I don't mean it hurts. I guess. That's
or realize that you're still on the schedule. It's just like certain things are changing within that schedule.
Yeah, that's hard. It's hard for us. We're not good at transitions.
I know.
So
it hits me on occasion. I'm like, because I'm like mild ADHD.
Yeah.
I've always been mild, so like there's sometimes I'm like I can just run with things. I'm like, all right, cool, we're just doing this. And then there's some days I'm just like, why is everything so stressful? Why do I hate everything? It's usually because stuff like that, like it's kicking in. I'm just like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah. Why am I so oppressed?
Why am I so angry right now? Why do I hate everything? Because everything keeps changing every 5 minutes around me. This sucks. That's why I like my job is kind of weird, because it does do that.
Holy crap, somebody's got a copy of BattleBot and donate to the archives.
BattleBots? I used to watch the crap out of that show.
Yeah, well, it's a different thing.
Oh. We're not talking about BattleBots?
No.
Dang it. BattleBots were cool.
The color book is 16 pages plus cover. I'm talking to Bob Conway at Aviat. So, but I'm talking to him about printing a new tech manual, and because the old tech manual says April 2021, yay, good job, guy. The 24 is 24 plus color. Plus color. 24 BNW. Because, of course, everything I do is in black and white, so there's that.
It's cheaper.
It is, but I'm also manga style, so that's the nature.
True.
Which, convenient, super, super convenient. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of useful. Yeah, okay, so you're not the only one making wub 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 jokes on this.
Strangely, I like it.
I don't hate it either. I mean, it's not actually, as much as I'm making jokes about it, I don't actually dislike it. I'm just
like
it's wub wub wubbing, and I was like, is it wub wub wubbing?
It reminds me kind of like Jet Set Radio. If you ever played that or know of it. Oh
no.
Jet Set Radio was a Xbox game. And it was like all hip hoppy. You were like rollerbladers. And you went around town and spray paint like tagged everything. That was literally the game.
That's cool.
And it had really good background music.
Yes. No, I keep thinking of Borderlands.
Borderlands is a good one.
Yeah, but you know how the robot in that kept coming up
Claptrap.
Yeah, Claptrap kept making up songs. And he'd come
Yeah.
up and go, I've made a new song. Wub, 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 wub.
Wop. Yeah, that's true. He did do that a lot.
So every
That was
time
funny.
it does that, I can't hear anything but Claptrap going wub, wub, wub.
I made a new song. Wop. I made it from the 2000s.
Right. It's a good game. I really dig it. I mean, I don't like first-person shooters that much anymore. I've kind of grown out of them because, of course, I played Wolfenstein, you know, and yeah, so
I'm the same way. Like I played Call of Duty, not Call of Duty.
Doom. I come from Wolfenstein, then Doom, then into Descent, and then
play COD, but it was
it's like
Counter-Strike. There we go. That's the
Counter-Strike. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's what I mean. It's like I'm a little older than you on this one. I actually played Wolfie when.
Oh, you are, yes. I'm more just saying, like, professional wise. I was like, I played Counter Strike. That's old school, still going to this day competitively.
I outgrew first person shooters.
Yeah.
I outgrew the first person shooters,
which is fine.
And there's nothing
like
wrong
you're
with
not
that.
missing much. They're all the same.
They're all the same. That's kind of why. But as I grow older, I love Sim stuff now. Like,
the Sims
I've got like a family that's like 4 generations in now on Sims. Sims 4. And I'm like happy as a clam. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. And
wait, you can play like a whole lifetime with each family now?
They're born and then they die. And then you bury them in the backyard and weird stuff like that. Yeah. I
bet you played Duck Hunt. Yes.
Duck Hunt was the best, although I tried to shoot that damn dog every time.
Donald.
That dog was an idiot. I hated that dog.
Right.
I think that's also a sign you play Duck Hunt if you try to shoot the dog. Because he'd always like
Duck Hunt though, like literally was
he'd come up and snicker at you when you missed the duck. He'd like come on, and you're like, really? I have a gun. And you're in front of me.
You don't care.
And it never worked. You could shoot him all day long and it won't matter.
Right.
It was pretty funny. Oh man.
That was awesome
though. Donald's probably sitting over there laughing his butt off right now because he's probably like, yeah, I tried to shoot the dog too.
We all did.
We all wanted to shoot the stupid dog. Dumb dog.
There was a video. So there's this old school game company that like they ship out old games and old systems and all that stuff that they rebuild. Well, they were actually showing a video of how Duck Hunt actually worked.
Oh, it's amazing.
With the like mechanics of like the gun and like the flashing of the screen and whatnot. It's like you can actually bypass this if you just do it this way.
Right.
Yeah, they figured out a way to mess with the game without it, and just like sat there and like shot a light at the screen and it actually worked. But
we learned to cheat that one. We would take,
but it was still
flashlight.
Cool.
We'd take a flashlight and took a flashlight and aimed it down the gun, and then pulled the trigger on the gun. You'd always hit.
So it's just hitting the whole screen.
Right. So that's what we would do is we'd get a flashlight into the gun. And then every time you pull the trigger, you hit because that's what it was looking for. So the gun was looking for. It was very myopic. So it was very blind. The gun was
right.
So it could only see a very small pinpoint, and so what would happen is you'd pull the trigger on the gun, and if the white light came through and the sensor saw it, then it registered a hit. And so that was cool. Exactly what happened.
Yeah, it was cool that they're sitting there actually like showing those old games and how they worked.
Right.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was like, I'll let you finish your sentence.
Between Pepper and me, you can't get a word in edgewise betwixt the two of us. I like this dragon thing you're doing.
Thank you.
It's very dragony and dead, but I like it.
I think it was Pepper was like, "Are you making this because of Wrath of the Lich King Classic?" I'm like, no. It just apparently started right when I was making it.
Gotcha.
Also, I don't want to do homework right now, so I'm just doing something else.
I actually have work to do for my company, but I'm starting to break this, so I'm going to put the company work on this afternoon.
There you go.
Yep. He's dragging his drawings. He's dragging on his drawings so that he can avoid homework.
Oh, it's because we're learning ZBrush and like the stuff that we're learning, the hard surface side of it, I could do faster in Blender and all this. And I'm like, why do we have to learn this? But at the same time, like, I know why we learn it. It's just annoying. And it drives me a little annoyed. Because I'm saying it was like, I could have done all this stuff literally within like a day. And now it's taking me longer, like a day and a half to 2 days to finish something now because we're doing it in a different process in ZBrush.
All right.
You know, like moving vectors and like sliding edge loops. I'm like, this is so much easier in these programs. Why? But that's because they work in low poly.
Right. Right.
And then you bring it over to ZBrush and you make it into high poly. And you're just like, So that's where I'm at right now.
That makes sense.
I'm just watching him make stuff online. I'm just like, I don't care. That's how I was like, what can I do right now? I'm like, oh, hey, it's 9 o'clock. Guy's doing stuff. I'm just going to draw. I'm going to do something that's just totally different.
As it appears. Asteroids almost bankrupt Atari. All right. As I put stuff over here, I'll start putting in important things that need to be. Okay. You always notice the fingers from the spells and which way the beard is waggling on the wizards.
It's true. True.
we were talking last night about this particular captain and how I didn't want to trope him, the bad guy captain, and I didn't want to do the tropey, mustache twirling captain because that's not realistic. It's easy to just make your bad guy just the bad guy. Haha! I eat kittens every morning live, just so that I can show you just how bad of a bad guy I am. Right. When I feel like what's much more interesting is, like German soldiers versus U.S. soldiers in World War II, right? I mean, we all know the Nazis were insane, but the German soldiers were just Joes. And sometimes they would lay down all their arms to fix this one problem. They fix the problem together, they work together, they fix the problem, then they pick up their guns and start shooting at each other again because that's what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? And those are much more interesting to me because they're more realistic. That's actually what really happens in the real world,
Right.
War is always a lot more confusing, and we like to trope it in our fiction by having them mustache twirling and hand wringing and sort of stuff, but the real life is so this destroyer captain, he's like, hi, I'm here to help you save the people on Moment. And our captain's like, cut the crap, that there's no defenses down there, and all you've got between you and this and taking over this planet is us, and we're a little Corvette. He's like, oh, thank goodness, I hate acting. Yeah, so surrender or get out. If you surrender, get out, then we don't have to kill you. If you don't, we'll blow you up. That's my
cool.
job.
We could just bypass all this.
We can bypass all of this and just get straight to the blowing you up part, or you can leave. I don't care. As long as I accomplish my goal, I've got the bigger ship. You've got the smaller ship. Please don't be heroic. It's not worth it.
Don't be these people.
Yeah, it's like there's no reason to sacrifice your life for this. Hey, how often do I have to say don't do that? Don't do that. So I like that because it's like that's much more realistic. I have got the superior ship. Just back away.
I was like, just go. We don't have to play this game today.
Yeah, I don't have to kill you.
I don't really want to right now. Just go.
Right.
War was not on my agenda this morning.
Right. Right, exactly. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is like the Germans and the English actually had a 3-day truce and they exchanged Christmas presents. Then they went back to shooting each other.
Yeah.
On a midnight clear. That's actually that's the story. It's known as On a Midnight Clear. And World War I. Yeah. There was also that same thing happened in World War II though. And that was called On a Midnight Clear. 1942, I want to say, the winter of 41, 42. Because it was, the Americans hadn't gotten there yet, because the Americans were so hot-headed that they changed the dynamics of what was going on. But the English and the Germans are like, yeah, we're at this again. It was like, they're like, well, here we are.
We're back.
Just here. Well, maybe On a Midnight Clear did happen in World War One, and there was a movie that transposed it to World War II because the producers thought it was prettier or something. World War One was so weird because of the no man's lands. I mean, cool, but that was a very different war. Oh, hi, come here. Come here. Oh, hey,
George.
Scritches.
Scritches. It's a Scritches time.
I have a back scratcher that my dad had, which is actually kind of cool because it's the shape of like it's got this skeleton hand for it. Yeah. My dad's really into it. Here, let me see if I can make my screen big again. I gotta find my mouse though. Only problem with 3 monitors. Anyway, yeah, so you can see it's kind of like it's a bony hand. I think it's kind of cool.
Nice.
And it's extendable, back scratcher. So you scratch your back with it. No problem. Mm-hmm. But George loves this. He's like, oh, that is the best thing ever. So I extend it and put it down there, and he just rubs up against it. He loves it. It's so much. And since it's made of metal, he can bite it until his teeth break if he really wants to. Although I don't think he would, but you'll scritch him for a while, then he turns around and starts gnawing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Got to go take your aunt to her hair appointment. Okay, see you later, Donald. Thanks for joining us.
Have fun at your hair appointment, your aunt's hair appointment.
Yeah. All right. So yeah.
Also, the hardest thing about learning a new program too is you keep hitting wrong hotkeys in old programs.
Oh yeah.
I keep doing that right now. It's annoying me. I'm like, that's not it. That's not the button.
There's one with really new scenes in Act 2. Hi. And 2 scenes in Act 2, so that's good. It's useful. And we have a cat visit. Take a George break.
A George break.
For Scritches.
He came back. He's like, nope, we're not done doing Scritches.
Yeah, we're not done with Scritches yet. I need more Scritches, he says.
You started, human, you will finish.
You will scritch me until I bite you because I'm annoyed with you now. Except that you really don't bite, which is a good thing. I mean, you bite the metal thing, but that's not really much of a threat. And after this, I think I'm going to go try out the adult Happy Meal. I think that's very funny.
Adult Happy Meal?
Have you heard about that? McDonald's is doing an adult Happy Meal.
What?
Yeah, it comes with a Big Mac, medium fries, and a drink, and a toy. And now I got to find out. Now I gotta know. So I'm in. I'm gonna try this today. Mostly because it's fighting my father. Because my sister's the one that actually brought it up. Because my dad, that was his grump all his life was he's like, I think I have funded half of McDonald's because of all the Happy Meals I bought for you guys. And so he was like, I'm never buying another Happy Meal ever again. And he held to that. When my kid was born, he would take him to McDonald's, but he would not buy him a Happy Meal.
That's awesome.
And so it was like, okay. So that was pretty funny. So now the only problem, of course, is the dad passed, which is kind of a bummer because Gia messaged me and she's like, did you see this? And she's like, it's too bad Dad's gone because we would buy him 6 of these and bring him to him,
It's like, here you go, Dad. After
all of that griping about, But of course, my dad was one of those people where the griping was always kind of funny. It was never, he was never.
It wasn't serious. It was more him just doing it as a joke.
Yeah, kind of like a, I just want to talk about just how obnoxious Happy Meals are.
How obnoxious you guys were with this.
I paid so much money that I have Happy Meals.
Right.
Like, he was never one of those. Like, my dad was an interesting folk in that, even when he was mad, he was still not mad. It's kind of a cool guy in that instance. So, anyway. Yeah. It's a thing.
So you're working on your script again?
Yeah, I'm just breaking it down. I'm putting it in these little subsections, which allow me to see what scenes we have.
Right. No, that's what I was looking. I was like, it looks like you're working on your script. I'm just making sure I'm in the correct page. Understand what you're working on.
Yep. It works. You don't have to get there till 11:30. Okay, well, you're still with us then.
I will be gone before 11:30.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We'll both be gone at 11. Okay.
Yeah, with my new schedule, if I get this new supervisor position, I don't know how everything's going to change.
This scene still needs some work, but I know what piece that I'm working on here. I may have to reorganize the points. And that'll work. Okay. All right. All right. Gotta kind of think this one out here, which is alrighty. So Alex is starting to lie, which is exactly what needs to happen in this scene. Well, so from a 10,000-foot view, originally my thought was that Alex was going to say, "Hi, I'm from 500 years ago," and everything like that. But then I was like, but you know what will happen is that then I can't keep her on this little Corvette, you know. So so anyway, yeah, it's like we're talking about sparkle dragons over here. Your dragon is not a sparkle dragon. Your dragon's dead. Anyway, so
no, I'm sorry, I don't draw sparkle dragons. I could.
But we were talking about it last night. I actually have come up with a new concept, and that is that that she's going to lie. You know, she has to lie. If she tells the truth, they're just going to take her away from my plot and experiment on her or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she's going to become the most important person ever. So she has to lie, for not just her own personal reasons, but also for the plot reasons. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. No problem. So now I've come up with she's going to lie and think fast. So she wakes up in med lab. She's like, where am I? And, you know, the doctor's like, you're on board a spaceship. And she goes, okay. He's like, don't you know anything? She's like, no. So he says, well, are you a Luddite? And she's like, oh, yes, that's exactly who I am. you know, she rolls with that. So when the captain comes down, she's like, yes, we belong to a little village where we pretended to be 2020 Earthlings. That's it. You know, and it fits. So, you know, we're all cosplayers. We're all cosplaying as people from the 2020s, you know.
Right.
So, okay, that fits. So that works. And then they ask what happened, and she kind of knows what actually did happen. And she also knows that if she says that, she's going to have to explain everything else. So she makes up this story that the Commonwealth was building a thingy that blew up. So, you know, because she's just making up stuff. She's a 14-year-old girl. She's making up stuff as fast as she can think it, you know.
Right.
So, you know, a classic 14-year-old girl. But Pepper was on the show last night. He was like, I wouldn't believe that. And I'm like, okay, so your options are that this girl's like a Luddite and lives in an Amish backcountry thing, and you finally rescued her from the Amish, or that she's from actually the 1300s and, you know, somehow got transported in time. Which do you believe? And he's like, the transported in time part. I'm like, normal people wouldn't, Pepper. Like, normal people would be more than willing to believe she's Amish.
There's so many things that come with the time travel aspect of things,
right?
you know.
I mean, this is science fiction, yes, but the people in this are not, science fiction.
Exactly.
Well, like the infamous line from Firefly that I still love, that I think is so funny, where what? That sounds like something out of science fiction.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, "You live in a spaceship, dear." And he goes, "So?"
Sounds like something out of science fiction. We live in a spaceship here. And
right? He's like, "I don't get that. What do you mean?"
I just love those. Yeah, that had a lot of good one-liners.
That really did. It's a bummer that Joss Whedon had to become a jerk. Oh well.
True. It's been a weird time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like just watching people getting ousted left and right.
Right? Do you want to be captain? Yes. No. You can't.
Because you can't.
Jane's like, yes, I want to be captain. Of course I want to be captain.
No, you can't.
You know what the chain of command is? The chain of command is a chain I keep in my room to hit you with until you understand who's in right command. There was some good lines.
There's some good ones, man. There were some good ones. Curse you for your inevitable betrayal. God, there's so many good. I'm like trying to think of them now, and I just my brain's just going blank now that I'm actually contemplating which ones are good.
We quote Firefly a lot, so.
Oh yeah, we do.
It's something that this house likes to do.
Mother's milk.
Yeah, Mother's milk. Jane, the man they call Jane. Robbed from the rich. Jane.
I always love that because there's wait, who are you guys celebrating? Jane, that guy?
That one's the best line as the doctor, who's like, "No, this is what going mad feels like."
Yes. Oh yeah. No, now this is what mad feels like. I can see it now.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah. That's a good one right there. That is so true right there though. Him just looking at Jane, I'm like, yep. This is what it must feel like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Pepper joined.
Pepper? We get Pepper too?
Yeah, Pepper joined somewhere along the line. But I didn't hear the voodoo over our wub 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 of music. So.
A lot of those episodes were well written.
Pepper, we're discussing Firefly.
I figured as much.
Oh.
I've been waiting for a while.
Yeah, because the Badoo got hidden in the wub 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 of our music.
In the wub wub.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of figured that happened.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot about that one. That was a good one. They wouldn't arrest me if we got boarded. I'm just a pilot. I can't.
Right.
I can always say that I was flying the ship by accident.
Right.
The sarcasm in like all their lines was the best.
My favorite one is where they capture everybody onto the whatever the good guys ship or the Federation, not the Federation, and they're on there and they're like questioning everybody, and they just let Alan Tudyk go, and you can tell, you can tell that they were like, okay, Alan, just do your thing, because they keep cutting back to the officer, and he's like sitting there stoically, and then after a while he's like. He's like dying over there because Alan's like, yeah, when I first met her, and before I had hair down there, if you know what I mean. And like it cuts back to the officer. The officer is just like laughing his butt off because he's killing.
I'm literally just like, Alan's trying to get this guy to laugh, and we're just gonna let it go.
And it's like Alan's just rolling with it, And he's just going on and on and on and on. And it's just so freaking funny.
I think they had a blooper with that one too, where it's just sitting there and he's just like staring at him or something. Yeah, I remember there was like some kind of blooper within that one.
Oh, there was a blooper reel. But that one's where the funny part is that the blooper reel was edited, which is a shame because one of the best parts of the blooper reel was where Mal walks up and he blows a line and he goes, fuck you, like that. Like every so often, that's what I do now. I'm like, oh,
right.
It's just like that's the best. There were also a whole bunch of little teeny like weird videos that they released that I've never seen ever again. But I captured them because back in those days you could right mouse click and save videos. So I captured them. And like one of them was they were releasing little hints about what was coming up. And the two creators were Joss Whedon and Tim Minear. Mm-hmm. And Joss Whedon put out a video and goes, I have one thing to say, blue sky. And then he walked off. And then later, Tim Minear did a video and goes, I just heard that Joss put out a video about blue sky. I have only one thing to say as well. Friend Jin. He walks off. It doesn't even mean anything. That was the best part. I was like, so there's like all these really cute. So there's times now where I picked up a whole bunch of random crap from those too. It's like now
I was laughing at this quote, the one which is, what was it? Which one you figured tracked us? The ugly one, sir. Could you be a little bit more specific?
Yeah.
Which one was it? The ugly one. Which one exactly?
Can you be more specific, sir? I bet you don't even have your own room.
Oh, yeah. It was a psychic thing. Room? That's what it was.
You even sleep in your own bunk? I share it with that one. Look, come over here. I promise you, I'll pay you more and you'll have your own room.
Right. Like, oh. The spaceship one. It was, they were talking about her being psychic. That's what it was.
Right.
Psychic. Psychic. That's something out of science fiction. We're in a spaceship here. So?
So wait, you're saying she's in Congress? How do you even live with your brain like that? That's all from Out of Gas, episode 5.
Right.
See, again, 80 years. We just...
Dear diary, today I was pompous and my sister was crazy.
Right? I got myself captured by idiots and my sister was crazy. It's another great day. Everything Jane does is great.
Just Jane is, like, at first, he's a hard one. Like, when he first shows up, he was a hard one to get used to because I'm like, oh, you're just the muscle head. And then you realize that he still is the muscle head, but, like, just the way that they wrote him, it actually worked really well.
Right. The thing is, Donald's talking about how that was a well-written episode. Yeah, Out of Gas is my favorite one to show people when I want to introduce them to Firefly.
Right.
Because they weren't sure. Jane Espenson wrote that episode. She was one of the ones that came from Buffy. And she wrote some of the best episodes of Buffy. And they brought her onto Firefly. And she wrote that episode. And they were doing we're not sure what episode Fox is going to show first. It could be any of these. So let's set up. And they thought for a while there that episode 5 was going to be the first episode. And so they wrote it where everybody refers to everybody, so you know who everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really well written. That whole little birthday party scene in the very beginning is all designed with them announcing who everybody is. All of the interactions, they talk about Inara being a prostitute. They talk about Book being a shepherd. They talk about Kaylee being the engineer. They talk about the doctor being a doctor. They talk about the girl being crazy. And they talk about who was the captain. And they talk about Wash being the pilot. And Zoe and Jane are the hired hands. You know what I mean? Like everything in that first scene, they all talk about each character and what their job is. And I always talk about that as a perfect example of how to set up a scene where you can put everybody in and without having to say, hi, I am the captain of this ship, and I am the doctor, and I am the engineer. You know, like you don't have to be like blunt about it because it's very classically written.
They did it in a way that actually it set up every character perfectly.
It was
like you knew what their role was in this, who they were.
Right. But
like,
what they were
you
doing.
Knew that Wash was going to be the pilot, and he's the sarcastic comedy pilot. That's pretty much what
and he walked. The scene starts with him walking in, going, "Okay, well, I've set us on course. We're in the middle of nowhere, like you told me to. You know, I'm the. You know, clearly he's the pilot, right? He sits down and he's talking to Mal, and Mal's like, "Well, that's why I told you to do that because I'm sort of the captain, and that's what I do." And you know, And then, you know, it's happy birthday, doctor. You can make the first incision, you know, on the cake. But then Kaylee brings it over and she's like, I had the replicators fix this up, but it's pretty much the same thing we always eat. But I tried to make it chocolatey. You know what I mean? Like, so you're okay. So she's the engineer. You know, everybody has a, you know, and then I bet you Inara has a whole bunch of horror stories. And she's like, yes, but you're never going to hear them. You know, like we've established where Inara is on this whole thing, and then you know, the shepherd makes some kind of statement, and you know everybody says something in that scene that places them exactly, and it's really cleverly written. And I love that first scene. But Jane Espenson is like an insanely awesome writer anyway, so I mean she knows what she's doing. So props to her on that one. Anyway.
Who's flying this thing? Oh yeah, me.
Back
to work. Time to get back to work. Oh yeah, can I make the suggestion that does not involve violence, or is this the wrong crowd?
Yep. Just good stuff in there. Good stuff.
Did Pepper just jump in and leave, or is Pepper in the back?
I think she's being quiet. I mean, Pepper's still here. He's still alive, but he'd be quiet.
Oh, okay.
He may have muted his microphone and wandered over to do other things and was listening, which is also fine.
Yep, I'm eating.
Yep.
I've been saying too long anyways.
Hollywood doesn't really have imagination issues. Hollywood has a money issue. And that's the biggest problem. It's never going to be solved. and that is it costs so much money to do something now that Hollywood needs a guarantee before they'll greenlight anything now, and you can guarantee that stuff that has been successful before will be successful again. And that's why.
And the thing with Firefly and even Serenity is that it never, like, it was successful after it aired.
Yeah.
The movie was successful after it played. Like, that's why they can't fully guarantee. They're like, it's such a subclass of fan that they're like, we don't even know if it's actually going to we're actually going to get money back on this.
Yep.
Like, we know it has such a huge fan base, but if we do it wrong, it's never going to do well what we want it to. And I get that.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people keep saying that Hollywood has imagination issues, and I get that. But
I think it's not really imagination issues. They won't go on a limb anymore.
They're not going to go on a limb. It's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it costs almost $1 billion now to do movies.
I mean, if you really want to look at it, look at Netflix and all them and all the things that they do air real quick, and then it just instantly drops because it doesn't do well. I'm like, shit, well, we just lost all that money.
Streaming services have a little bit more flexibility.
Yes and no. It's still the same concept, though. Because they still have to hopefully submit something that they're going to like, that everybody else is liking. And if it doesn't gain any traction, it just instantly gets shut off.
Yeah, Babylon 5 was that way, too. Yeah. I liked B5. In fact, I liked B5 so much, I hated Deep Space Nine because of B5. Yeah. And it's not that there won't be people going out on a limb. It's that you have to have a good selling point. And this is why you end up with things like Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson.
Right? Hey, I actually like that one.
Yeah, but many people got mad because there were far better Japanese actresses that would have served as the major better.
Right. And I get that part too.
That was part of the grump was you took an anime and you put a white girl in charge, sort of thing. And it's like, you didn't have to do that. You could have found perfect reason. But they did that because, and this is the important thing about it was that you needed to be able to draw. And so they're like, okay, so you're going to do this obscure anime thing. We're not sure that anime will sell. And so what are you going to do to make it sellable? Well, we'll put Scarlett Johansson in charge.
Right.
Oh, okay, well, that'll sell because she's popular right now. And that's exactly what happened. Even Everything Everywhere All at Once is totally going off of Michelle Yeoh's popularity.
Mm-hmm.
That was what they're banking on. And so
it's the same thing with, right, like a lot of the movies and that come out too, like after Deadpool 2, Ryan Reynolds just like had like movie after movie after movie because everybody was banking off his celebrity.
Honor Harrington's another series that that's a good point. Honor Harrington actually is an exact series that's a solid point. David Weber is open to putting that out there for everything, for people to see, and he's willing to make a series out of it, but nobody's going to take a risk.
It's kind of also like what we were talking about with what's also relevant too, because I know that's something me and Pepper were kind of talking about that last one about Expanse.
Yeah. The Expanse was an extension too. That was
I'm not gonna lie, with it being a super high sci-fi and you need the right team to know how to bring that together.
Yeah.
But it's done well. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like they had to go out on a limb of being like, let's see if this book series is gonna actually become a thing.
Well, the book series was already popular, so
it was.
But is it popular enough for TV? Is what I was saying.
Yeah.
Well, it came out kind of like at the right time because there weren't a ton of sci-fi stuff out that wasn't like Star Wars or Star Trek.
Yeah.
And you have people that are kind of staunch, and some people just don't like those two series for some weird reason. So
Yeah.
they wanted something new, they got it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's grounded also in reality, so it's believable. That's the other thing.
Like the political side and everything is very believable.
Yeah.
But I also think that's the reason why it did so well, was that it's based off the political side more than anything.
Well,
and a lot of people can
politics
actually
and
attach
sci-fi.
themselves to that.
Yeah, politics and sci-fi, like they kind of go hand in hand like that.
Well, that's why I was kind of like thinking of like it hits very like high sci-fi, cyberpunky, politics sci-fi, because you get the different characters and how everything kind of, because like Altered Carbon is very cyberpunk sci-fi, but it has the detective story, which is what Miller was. Miller was that detective branch for the sci-fi world.
Yeah.
Poor Miller.
And then it goes into like the space crew of everybody on that, and then you got the big space war, and then you have just the inner politics between.
The thing I love about The Expanse was it does some of the greatest things about that whole escalating. You know, we start with, you know, a small murder mystery that blows up into this galactic. You know, it was like there's this little murder mystery that just.
Oh, and you get like the Space Marines and stuff for like Mars, and like you get these like the writer did really well at like incorporating all this little subgenres of sci-fi,
and it's
into one big huge masterpiece.
Yep, it's two writers.
That's what I was kind of getting at with that one, though. Is like he literally did really well at like incorporating all these little tiny pieces of sci-fi and what people like of sci-fi into like this big masterpiece. And also, I think it's one reason like a lot of us like we attach ourselves to like certain characters too within that show, is because they kind of follow our favorite aspects of the sci-fi realms. Sci-fi stories and things like that. Like me, I like Miller, but that's also because like I like the like murder mystery, science fiction, cyberpunk feel to it, or whatnot. Like where they were more in the space stations more than actually like on Earth and Mars. Like those are my favorite ones, but I do love all the characters as well. Oh, and then you also have like the super huge being that we have no idea who the heck it is, just sitting in the background doing stuff that we are figuring out later on.
That was the thing I loved. I think if anything about Expanse that I really loved the most was the fact that the aliens in the Expanse were so weird that the humans they couldn't even comprehend what was going on.
Right.
Like whatever was happening, the humans were just along for the ride. You know, whatever was.
The humans are playing in their sandbox.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, kind of thing.
Like that's what it feels like. It's like they're just playing around in the sandbox that these aliens put together. And you're just like, there's like, oh hey, they found that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do with it? Let's find out.
We may want to step in now.
Mm-hmm.
They got the dangerous part now, so we may want to step in. Oh, we're not? Oh, okay.
Like I'm still like catching up on like the book series, but still it's so good. What was the name of the author?
Well, you know, I won't give you any spoilers. Everybody dies in the end.
Doesn't everybody usually die in the end of their story?
Yeah, well, no.
Oh, Corey. Yeah. James S.A. Corey.
Yeah. So it's two artists or two authors. The S and the A are the names of their eldest children. The initial.
Oh, so it's James and Corey.
No, it's James Corey is a nom de plume. The S and A represent their two eldest children from the two writers.
Oh, so James Corey is just both authors' name.
Mm-hmm, they worked together on it, which is why it's so solid. Is because they worked together and kind of, shuffled the whole story in, and then I don't know who actually penned it, but they both operated on the story equally.
Ty Frank
and
Daniel Abram.
Yep, Deborah. Yeah, that's it.
But like the main person that kind of ties it all together is Ty Frank.
That makes sense.
From what I'm reading here, is like, who's the actual author? It's like Ty Frank. It is both of them for getting all the ideas and getting it all working together. But Ty Frank's the primary writer.
Yep.
But that's also kind of like the same thing of like with Firefly too, with how he built the world of China and America are like the main superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see that happening of like, that's why Chinese and English are like the two main languages. And you're like, I could see that actually happening in the real world,
Right.
And that's why like that was very believable when they're like on the space stations and that, like, you see all the advertisements and that are like jumping between China and us. And I was like, I could definitely see that happening, which made it very believable.
Right. It adds a little bit of believability.
Although I do like the sci-fi series where they don't use Mandarin, they use kanji as the world language.
Oh yeah.
Because it's funny because it's like they're using it. I forget which series I was watching, where they basically said like after China collapsed, like Japan like just took it over, like straight up. It was an American one too, so. But I think the person had like a heavy influence from Japan. So I mean, those ones are kind of cool because like it's grounded in reality. I can see Japanese forces marching in if China like kind of went down like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still weird because it was like comparatively, I don't know if that would actually happen.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think I want to know if it would be plausible to happen. You know? Just like I don't want to know if America could be overtaken that deal by another country.
I think we were talking, not us, but I was talking to somebody about that too, because we were talking about like politics and things that were going on in the world and whatnot. And I was like, that's why every other country just kind of laughs at us right now, because they're just like, you guys are in your weird like angsty teen phase of your, because like just the way that Americans act, like outside of, and all the other countries are like, you guys are 300 years old, we're 500 to 600 years old, like we know what you guys are already going through, we see the trends, you guys are in your angsty teen phase kind of concept. And they're like, yeah, that's kind of true.
It's actually kind of funny that I remember I was taking my adopted daughter, so to speak, the kiddo that comes over every so often from Japan and stays with us.
Yeah.
I was driving through Arvada, and it says, Arvada, established 1876, or whatever. And it was, right on Grandview, the bridge over Grandview. And I was like, yeah, I mean, Arvada is one of the oldest towns in Colorado. And she looked up at the sign and she goes, oh, we have trash cans older than that. I was like, you didn't mean to be snarky, but you were totally snarky.
That's great. She's not
like,
wrong. That's hilarious.
Not wrong.
I love that. That's awesome.
She was just like,
we have trash cans.
I was like, okay, that was a little bit of a burn there.
That's great. I love it.
It's like, cool. Okay, props, girl. You got us. It was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
I want to see these trash cans.
Right?
I want to see your old trash cans.
Actually, because of the way she is, I mean, because she actually is very much like you like the three of us. She's spectrumy in some way. I believe that in her head, she was seeing an actual trash can that actually was like 350 years old or something. You know what I mean? Like, it sounded
actually
like
she sees the sign in her head that shows her. Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually believe she wasn't being snarky. I think that she was like, oh, I saw a trash can once that's older than that in her head. You know what I mean? So I'd be willing to bet that had zero to do with being snarky. It just sounded perfect. She had her timing perfect and everything like that. Even if I don't think that was intentional on her part, I think she actually sees.
I still want to see this trash can.
This trash can was used by Emperor Snurgleblatt back in
Snurgleblatt,
whatever, in 1433, and it's still being used today as a trash can, and we still use it. That would be my presumption, is that she actually had a
probably.
All of a sudden, she joins your stream. No, I was being snarky.
Right.
She should be going to bed right now.
Yeah, he says she's actually on the stream. That could be interesting. By the way, happy Man in Space Day to everybody here. In 1957, on this day, we all became a spacefaring race.
Really?
Yeah. It was Sputnik 1.
Sputnik 1. Sputnik 1 day?
Which was pretty much just a basketball with 4 antennae on it. Yeah, Tibetan monks probably have ancient trash cans too.
If China didn't destroy them.
Yeah.
I like your Halloween decorations, Pepper.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You were talking about how high up you were putting those things, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever, Pepper. And then you post the picture. I'm like, Jesus, Pepper, that's like 6 miles up in that tree.
The tallest one is 75 feet.
Yeah, like I said,
up there.
Because that's on how far my pole extension actually will go.
Oh, you put them up there by a pole. Okay, I thought you climbed. I was like,
lanterns are Bill.
Oh, hell no.
I was like, you or Bill were ballsy. I was like, damn, we need more lanterns.
Look, I don't mind heights. I'm not scared of heights, but I have, like, one of the symptoms that I have from my autism spectrum and stuff is I do have an equilibrium problem. So, like, when I go up onto a actual, like, ladder or just a high climb, like, I don't know how to get down.
Right.
Because, like, I can get up fine, but, like, once I get there, like, I can't get down. Like, with a ladder, it's a little bit simpler, but, like, it freaks me out because, like, my body just wants to jump.
Right.
Like, I have this urge to climb up and then jump off from wherever I am. Like I'm a freaking cat or something. Like, it's
first
stupid.
instinct is jump.
Yeah. No?
No, I get that. Well, that's kind of like I did rock climbing there for a long time, and I have no problem with heights. It's the idea of free falling is where I'm actually terrified. Of like, if I fall from here, there's nothing stopping me.
Yeah.
But I can go as high as I want, look down, like, oh, that's cool. But I'm like, when I start going down, I'm like, this rope snaps, I'm fucked.
Yeah, that's my problem is, like, all I can do, if I'm tied in or strapped in, I'm okay. But if I'm like I get horrible vertigo if I'm not. I remember we were at NDK like 2. We were in this hotel which had an inner atrium, and operations was on the 14th floor. And every time I walked out, it felt like the deck would tilt. I just couldn't handle it. It was so bad.
Because you were just so high up. Yeah.
You know, a little balcony, and then it was a 14th floor drop to this atrium. It was horrible. I got like.
Oh, you wouldn't do well at Dragon Con then.
It was terrible. Oh.
Have you been to Dragon Con or seen pictures?
No, same thing though.
That's like 30 to like, if it's like 100 floors, it's just like looks down, you're like, yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah, apparently somebody jumped.
Yeah,
heard.
Wouldn't surprise me. It's the same hotel they shot Die Hard in, but my friend was there, and he actually had to resuscitate someone because someone threw a chair from like the 20th, 30th floor and actually clipped someone and knocked him out. So he actually like saved their lives, which actually was nice. Like, the hotel was super nice to them because like they're like every year after that, like they treat them super kind. They know who they are. I'm like, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, it's a little weird, but we'll take it.
Right.
He's like, just for saving someone's life, like it's nice to be acknowledged, but at the same time, it's a little weird. Just like, you know. But yeah, like, they're also the same people, like, they're very humble about it, too. Like, we don't try and take advantage of any of this.
Yeah. Scritch over here. Scritch. It's a good time for a Scritch. You're going to a Halloween party on Friday. Good job. I like Halloween parties. It's a George Scritchy time.
Scritches with George.
He was like, I'm into this Scritchy thing. Wait, there's a bird. Such a good ball. You should be weirdo. You and your bird thing. All right. All right. I think that's it. I think I've got everything broken down into at least the pieces, parts that we're going to need for this plot. And it really, I mean, we've got mostly medical in this. Looks like Bridge and the medical, those two sets, they're both already built. That's good. And then VIP quarters will need to be built. Not sure what that means, but okay. So I'll quickly save this, then I'll save it as real quick. And notes. And save that. And that way I don't have to worry about it again. Then we will take this part off. More. We've already broken down this. That anymore. Now we will talk about this. Because that could probably be 2 pages. Really doesn't need to be a lot, right? I think that entire first piece would probably just be those 4 pages at the very beginning. Keep George inside for Halloween. You're not wrong. George actually isn't an outside cat, and neither is Dove. So neither one of them ever go outside. They're always inside. But mostly because he's a black cat. It's actually why we have him. If we went to the rescue shelter to get him, and there was a litter of kittens, and I was talking to the lady, and she said, you know, because the kiddo was into George, so that was cool. They were kind of connecting, and all was good. They were having a floofy moment, and she's like, I'm glad that they're connecting because he's the one that I'm most worried about because he's a black cat and he's a polydactyl. And so that means that, you know, he's a double whammy for not living very long on Halloween. Mm-hmm. And so we took him and we got him. And he's now ours. He never goes anywhere. And he doesn't get out even on Halloween. He goes nowhere. He stays here and he's a happy little cat. He's perfectly content being here inside the house, right? Who's that? Who's that? He has opinions. They're all weird, but he has opinions. next thing is take this and take here. This and move it up to here. Take this. All I'm doing is crunching it down because we're really we've cut a lot of this plot out, and this will give me an idea of the size of things. How many pages do I need to eat up with this? This last part is pretty dense. That gives us sort of an idea of where the midpoint is, because we want to kind of split it equally as much as possible. And I know that my midpoint is right here on this particular page, so we're going to try to split this down here. Looks like the midpoint on this story kind of arcs to behind the seaward part. Yeah. I am really digging this piece you're doing down here on this dragon, by the way. It is not, in fact, a dragon picture. It is not dragon at all. It's pretty cool. You're also muted if you're talking. So, okay. Midpoint is right here. Now we try to make it fit to the, see these, we've got this kind of curve going here. He said, no, I mentioned the classic release, but knowing the more. I don't know what Colton's doing down there. Not sure that Colton knows what Colton's doing down there. Colton's talking to somebody, not us. So there's that. All right. Next
I'm actually, if you want to know, the only reason why I'm quiet right now is I am essentially trying to find a way to get into the Rocky Mountain National Park coming up. So, and it looks
You
like...
break in.
Oh, you're back.
Sorry. I didn't realize I had my mic muted because of the truck outside.
I'm not worried. You guys can be doing other things. That's part of what we do here.
But yeah, no, that's actually funny that you say that though, Guy, because that's Pepper said the same thing when they first saw it too. Not Guy, but Bill.
Bill, yeah, Bill said it.
Bill said the same thing. I'm like, that's funny that you both say the same thing on that.
It's like they're married. I don't know. Weird. Be a spot here if you want to. I think that's too far down. I don't know. It is sort of the halfway point, isn't it? I don't know if I want to do that. Because that puts it at. Maybe. We'll see whether that works. I'll call that a half a seam. That was 5. That was 6. Call this one 7. There's 8 seams here. It helps me kind of plot it out along the map here. So now we're kind of looking at this map. And the pressure points of manga, right? Full memories of being places and games. That's so weird. It's true. It's so true. You have like these memories. I was at this place. I was at this location, like a real place. Yeah, I've done that too. So here it is. We're going to go to a new layer. A bit of splash. There. And then skating.
Someone I've been waiting for paperwork from for, I want to say 2 months now, finally gave it back to me. Signed. Well, isn't that great?
So skating. Skating, waking up, bitch. And then this is the oh yeah. That'd be kind of interesting. The idea of uploading your brain to an MMO.
So no, so recreation.gov is like the national park like thing for like getting tickets to get into the park. This would be a lot different had, so essentially, Rocky Mountain National Park, you have like time entries to enter the park now until October 10th. So if you want to go into the park, you want to just like go on, just to drive through it, you need to essentially have like a permit from 5 to 6 p.m. to go in. Otherwise, you have to get into the park before 5 a.m. or you go into the park after 6.
Yep.
And I'm like, at that point, you're just asking to be preyed upon by predators. I mean,
it is true.
Yeah. So right now it's like they either go on the 6th, which is basically the very last time slot, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Or you have to wait for someone to cancel their reservation on the 7th, 8th, or 9th and be ready to pounce. So
there's a bird that is taunting George over here. So I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at George. The bird keeps making kamikaze passes at the door, and George keeps attacking the screen by accident and running into the screen. So the bird's like, oh, guess what I've got? Like, the predator is caught. He can't do anything. So
The door opens.
right, it's like
I found pictures of the perfect rug.
the perfect rug.
Mm-hmm. So instead of like, little bits of what looks like yarn and stuff, it's soft plush skulls.
There you go.
Only from Japan.
Only from Japan. Somehow this just does not surprise me in the least.
Well, it's either Japan or Korea.
Yeah. Neither one of those surprised me.
Yeah. The main thing that I'm like looking at, like they don't have any like they have English text in the background on pictures and stuff, so it makes it really hard to figure out which one it is. All the models and everything in the photos, though, are definitely someone from either country. So,
Does not surprise me. Not the
this also rest in peace, Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn. Really?
Yeah, she passed away.
Wow. She was up there though.
90 years old.
Yeah. Like sitting there going, Loretta Lynn? My grandparents listened to Loretta Lynn.
Yeah. My
That's
grandparents.
not to diminish her work. I know her work, so
All right, I gotta get going because of work.
as a work because I'm going to go try the adult Happy Meal. That's me, man. I'm going to try that dark alchemy, and you can't stop me.
All right.
I'm an adult.
All right. Have
Bye.
a good day.
We'll have to have that talk though, Bill, because I'm kind
Bye,
of curious.
Bill. Bye, Donald.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Brent. We'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye.
Keep your eyes on the stars.